Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello.
Alcatan here.
And the Bendu.
Today we are joined by Hera,
I'm
a
Hera.
special guest. We are going to be doing a recap today of Emerald City Comic Con, which we were supposed to do about 2 weeks ago, but life keeps happening, so forgive our lateness on that one. There's also a brand new Andor trailer that came out this week that we're going to be doing a deep dive of. Bendu has not seen it yet, so that'll be a first-time reaction. And welcome to the podcast, to issue 98 of the Dork Forces podcast.
Ooh.
I feel like I just saw you guys. We were just live like 2 hours ago, trying as hard as we could to get panel reservations for Star Wars Celebration Japan. I was in the struggle. Hera, I know you were in the struggle too. I hope everyone had good luck out there. Yeah, no, it sold out pretty quickly. Myself, I was not able to get into the Andor panel proper, but I did secure a streaming spot on the Twin Suns stage because all of the main panels are also being streamed to other stages at the same time. But I didn't get into Andor, but I got into the streaming of Andor, so it's better than nothing. But Bendu, check this out. I got into the Visions Volume 3 panel.
Volume 3, I mean, so for that one, are they just going to kind of give a brief idea of who the artists are going to be for season 3?
I think so. I think it's more than that. I think that we're actually getting to talk a Q&A with some of the directors. We're going to meet people from some of the animation studios, and I think that we're going to get shown a little glimpse of some of the shorts that are coming in season 3. So I think it's going to be a pretty good panel. I was saying it before, like Visions is the thing that I think I've rewatched the most out of all the stuff that's on Disney Plus right now. That's like the new school Star Wars content, and part of that is so short. They're like bite sized, so you can just like eat them up.
Exactly.
So good. They're so fun, and there's something just very refreshing about them. So I'm very happy that like the one panel I really got into.
Yeah, they're like nightly fairy tales, the way that like you can just come back to the same story over and over again because it's your favorite.
And that's what's also interesting that between season 1 and season 2. Season 1 had a lot more differential between the stories, whereas season 2 was a lot more of like a directive theme. So for season 3, I'll be curious to see if they continue on with like having a sort of themed idea throughout each episode, or if it'll all be their own individual one-shots, kind of like season 1 was.
Right.
But again, seeing some of the absolute phenomenal artwork that goes into the promotional posters and the con tickets.
Gorgeous.
Or, sorry, the con badges.
I'm excited to find out which ones we get. We haven't seen him yet.
Sir, I see you.
Hell yeah. What's up, man? He was going through the struggle with us a minute ago. We're going to be in the standby line together trying to get into that Lucasfilm animation panel because you just know they're going to announce like the next big show there. I want to be in that crowd. I want to be part of that moment of history. But yeah, Celebration Japan is like less than a month away at this point. It's slowly starting to feel real. Haven't packed yet though. Haven't done any packing. Like you were saying, still recuperating from Emerald City, to be honest. Like
it was very so in hindsight, I keep going back and forth because like even though it was 4 days, like I still feel like there was so much that we did and there was so much going on. Like in some aspect it doesn't feel like we did as much as we did last year. But at the same time, it still feels like in hindsight,
yet somehow more.
Yeah.
We still spent like a lot of good money on swag and on artwork, of which I still have a plethora of things that I have not framed. I can only imagine how horrible and expensive the trip to Michael's for me is going to be unless I like write down the sizes of every painting and every picture.
That's what I usually do when I go to Target and Fred Meyer to get like the basic frames. Is I just like one time I wrote it on my arm. I had like 11 by 17, like 8 by 11 times 2. Trying to find the frames for all the prints I had. We only picked up one print. It was the Dungeon Meshy 11 by 17.
Now we have like 3.
Find a frame for that. But I feel you, dude. Like the trip to Michael's is gonna be more than the merch. That's the problem with collecting art is like people don't even think about the price of like framing and then displaying that art because you can't tape it to the wall. This ain't a dorm room,
cycle your art, like if you have 3 prints of the same size, like 3 times a year, just like change out the art. That way you don't have to have so many frames.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Have like a rotating collection, and instead of rotating the art pieces, just the frames themselves stay there. It's a good way to do it, actually. But that means I want to limit how much I handle the art itself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If I move it, I want to be moving a frame because it's just safer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Eventually, I need to go through all the merch that we got and put it all away. You were talking about the badges, Bendu, for Celebration. We've got a full set of them coming, but apparently they're not actually coming to us. We have to pick them up at the venue. That's what I learned. So we're not going to find out what it is until we're in Japan. So we're going to have to take pictures of them all.
That makes sense, just in case of scalpers or in case of people making fake badges. Or, I mean, like, I feel like with Celebration last year, or not last year, but like many moons ago when it was in Anaheim,
2022.
Like, I don't remember them mailing us the badges. I feel like we still had to go to will call.
We
had to go to will call.
We had ours mailed. We had ours mailed.
We still needed the wristbands though. So that
we
was
did need
that
the
was
wristbands,
the other.
Yes. That's the other half of it.
One part. Yeah, they mailed us one part, but we still needed to go to will call for the other part.
It's probably going to be similar to that.
It's going to be in an absolutely different foreign country.
Hello there, Matthew. Hello there, Nessie.
Well, we got different badges for Emerald City because we did the meetup. I'm curious because we got the panel going. We got like speaker badges. I want to know, like, are those different? Because the ones at Emerald City were different.
That would be really cool if we got like a rare variant.
All the arts.
Got to collect them all. They're like Pokemon cards. That's what all the kids are into these days. These Pokemon cards. They're all the rage. I'm just now learning about it for the first time. But yeah, speaking of Emerald City Comic Con, it was a first for me because it was the very first time, and for Hera too, that we'd ever done anything in a cosplay. Bendu flies up. We go to Emerald City together every year, and he always brings it. He's got like a different cosplay every single day, and like the man is very practiced at this. It was my very first time, and I was very nervous. We've got some photos from Emerald City here. First of all, we'll give the people what they want. Here is the Bendu as the master of the mystic arts himself, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, this year was a fun one. I had two separate photo shoots, thankfully with the same photographer, because Buka by Brian is absolutely fantastic. He's an absolute wizard with his camera skills and with his editing skills. And I met him last year, was the first time shooting with him, but like he's done so much phenomenal work with other cosplayers I've known over the years that it was just a privilege, and it was just so much fun and so easy getting to work with him. But yeah, no, absolute fire. I was absolute fire. Some of the shots are just, yeah.
I like this one.
I like this one. Fell in love with so many of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely impressive.
I feel like the perfectionist in me, there's still little bits where I'm just like, oh man, I wish I like did that, or oh man, I wish I like had my stuff tucked in together a little bit more. But like, it's just there's always gonna be something.
That I felt the same way about the shot that I got in my cosplay, but like considering it was my first time trying it, I was like, it was never going to be perfect. I'm just happy to have anything looking.
Yeah, I kind of had a weird existential moment like last weekend. I forget like what exactly the trigger was, but just like recognizing and realizing that I've been cosplaying Strange for like 5 years.
You're kind of really a pro Strange.
My fucking mind. I've been hanging out with this sorcerer for so long, and I've been tweaking this thing and just like learning different like makeup tricks and little props and things. And
it's crazy how fast it sneaks up on you too. Like earlier this week, I realized I've been Kyle Katarn for 8 years. It was 8 years this week was when I created the YouTube.
Which is wild because in my brain I'm just like, oh yeah, no, we still like totally started like doing this in 2020, but it's like we didn't like.
No, it kind of took off in 2020, but we were doing it before then.
Yeah, well, Rebels was still like a thing, and like not even its final season.
But we were just a couple of nerds farting around with a YouTube channel. Like we weren't taking anything seriously. So 2020 is kind of when it kind of became a thing and took off, and we like had a pattern and a routine. But yeah, this thing goes way back. It really does, and it sneaks up on you. Like You spent so much time with Doctor Strange. I spent so much time with Kyle Katarn, and it really doesn't feel like that much time at
this
all.
year for you though. Like, but yeah, I have so many other shots. So if you do happen to follow me on Instagram, I've actually been losing followers like no tomorrow for one reason or another. But no, like if you like painted miniatures, if you like Marvel cosplay, like for sure, yeah, follow me on Instagram.
So
and to follow the work.
Explain your next cosplay to the people.
So if you are at all familiar with the amazing band Ghost, I'm very late to the Ghost game. They came out in 2010, 2011. But yeah, no, Cardinal Copia, being the Cardinal is just so much fun, especially doing it on like a day like Sunday. But I first experimented with him last year, and then this year was a difference of makeup and using the Italian leather gloves. I actually got in contact with the company that makes the gloves for the band, and was able to get the leather gloves for the cosplay from the people. So
that's
again,
awesome. That's such an impressive level of accuracy.
He's so comfortable too. Ironically, like out of all the cosplays, like he's definitely one of the most comfortable I have to wear.
I
do need to get a more accurate hat, though, for sure. But yeah, look at him. I love Copia. He came out during the prequel or prequel album, and just like he's a combination of like Gomez Adams, Vincent Price, and just like all things creepy from the 50s and 60s. And just I love the character so much. He's been so much fun.
Those shots are amazing.
Be sexy. He's a chance to be like, seductive and just silly, but also like fuck the patriarchy.
That's so awesome. So also a first timer, Hera, why don't you before I put the picture up on the screen here?
Oh, the shots that you guys got.
Hera did a cosplay for the first time this year. I'm very proud of it.
And I went all the way with it. No like easy beginners cosplays over here. Just like the hardest thing that I could possibly do, honestly.
It is elaborate. Shall I bring it up on the screen here?
Sure.
Take a look at this.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Garza.
Absolutely brilliant. Straight out of the Book of Boba Fett itself.
Seriously.
Yeah. The headpiece is a challenge. I think that's the hardest part.
Wearing it or like putting it on?
Yeah, really kind of like break down the whole process for us. Like the whole layering for everyone in the chat. Gosh. Just like your what's it called? Man, I can't. Sequence
There's a lot of pieces to it.
Like the right thing, but like
everyone loses their word when Hera wears that. I don't know why.
So I like had to figure out all the parts because there's a lot of parts to the outfit overall. Like there's this white triple top thing, and so like they all overlap each other. It's like kind of like a woven. So like I have to put something on and then only put half of it on, and then put something else on, and then put the other thing over that. And turns out it's really not easily assembled by myself.
That was the fucking phrase I was looking for. Order of operations.
You got to do a whole PEMDAS routine to get it on.
So I say it would be the top and the skirt go on first, and then the sequin part, which I think was the hardest one to make, that like sequin halter top. But I can't put that on over the little shoulder drapes. And then the chains have to go on last, even though they get caught on everything. And then the headpiece as well. And the headpiece is a silicone leku that I ordered from a costume shop. And they're very natural looking. And so I have to wear like a hairnet. My hair's getting long too. So it's kind of hard to tie it back. And then I have to like secure it to my head, and then I have that wrap, and then the crown piece that goes on top of that. And it's an undertaking just putting it on. I was telling Kyle that I need to practice it again before we go to Japan.
Do a test run, absolutely.
Yeah, and I hope the Leku can survive the journey.
I think you need to get them their own custom like case, something with foam that you can like put them in where they'll be like.
So I was randomly thinking about that today or like earlier, like 2 days ago, and then like earlier today because I knew we were going to do the podcast. And I think like for sure of two things. One, it's going to be inevitable that you guys are going to have to do checked luggage, purely because of the amount of props and pieces that both of your cosplays have. But then secondly, Katarn, I know the Briar pistol was a really big thing and like a really big mini mission and challenge. And probably you can talk about that and break that down more.
Iconic. It's the first gun you get.
Once we get into your cosplay photos. But something that I was immediately thinking about was going through customs, going through security, and then security at the event. And then also just the fact that, again, Celebration is going to be in Tokyo, Japan, of whom probably are going to have their own set of rules and legal allegations when it comes to weapons and quote-unquote firearms. Moral of the story, I think the saber is the safest way to go. And if you do the empty holster, I think it's still a badass look.
Yeah, no, I think you might be right. I was, that brings up
maybe buy another one.
I thought Emerald City was kind of interesting in that when I came in on my cosplay day with the pistol, I thought someone was going to tag it, like because people were tagging all the guns on Friday. No one did anything to it. I thought it was going to get a little zip tie on the trigger because they were doing that to everyone else's prop weapons, but like nothing happened.
Yeah, I feel like by the end of the weekend they weren't doing that as much for sure.
Right, they did kind of change the way they were operating. So that brings us to my cosplay, which I was very nervous about, but look how that turned out.
8 years in the making, 8 years being requested.
Yeah, look at us. Look at where we came to from how it started. And now I am Oh man, no. I was really happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I was we found a little photo booth there that was for cosplay, and they added lightsaber effects for cosplayers' photos. So that was really cool. It was called Triple Click Photo. Hera got her photo done at the same booth.
Yeah.
But I added the blue light myself. That was me. That was my.
I was gonna say, don't give them full credit for the editing that you did on your own photo, because like it was a little silly. Like it was great and absolutely amazing that they offered that for cosplayers, and just
it was better than nothing. Doing even a little bit, Like
it was great. It was essentially like, was it $15 a photo, something like that, and it was essentially set up. It was set up like it was for like your school photos in elementary school. If anyone remembers that.
And now I have this awesome
it was
photo.
Literally like school photos. You got to choose your background color. And like, so it was really cool. And it was really great for like first timers or just people wanting to like, savor the memory. But I did want to like, Katarn went in and did some After Effects and added way more of the blue and the.
I went a little harder than I needed to, maybe, but I think it looks good.
Look at that.
It was super basic, but they provided, but it was awesome.
It does. It definitely looks good. I have a. I thought I had a little behind the scenes photo of Hera getting her photo done, so you can see.
I don't know that I shared that one.
Oh, I guess I don't have it. Oh, speaking of which, what about the sexy crosshair that we saw?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, that's right. The bad bit.
There were so many brilliant cosplays. I don't know how many of the photos you have still for us to just break down and go through, because like there were so many memories. And I think last year, again, we took way more photos last year than we did this year, but this year we were just so much more in the moment, which I think was also just like phenomenal. Plus, we will eventually
a better experience overall. I think. Sorry, what?
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll have to talk about the Star Wars get together that happened on Friday.
The meetup.
Of which a very helpful gentleman. Bart in like his master bard way influenced more people into the conference room. It was a great day. But it was cool though, because Katarn, you cosplayed on Saturday as your practice for Tokyo, and then Hera, I was absolutely impressed and proud of you for like doing not only one day but 2 days in a row, and not only that, triply on top of the cake. Not once did you change out of your costume or complain about your costume.
And
that
is impressive.
Maybe
Yeah,
there
was
was
a lot.
some
There was
bitching
a
and
lot.
moaning as they put it on, but once it was on, I'm like, I'm here, I'm in this. My ears
Yeah.
can't feel them, but that's okay.
Yeah, how was it having that on your head
And then
all
the
day?
fact that we got to go to the little grungy nerd prom at the end of Saturday night.
Oh, I gotta
that
love
was
that.
Just like
That was amazing.
there's so many
fun.
little things about this year that we didn't do last year, and that I'm glad that we did. And it's just like, look, yes,
Same.
there's so many great characters,
Yeah.
there's so many great cosplayers. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're able to like go through these. Yeah, and the fact that the 501st, you did show a couple of the pictures prior, but like the fact that they generally always have some sort of booth on the third floor to where
you always
like
kind of
they
know
have
where to find them, which is
Star
nice.
Wars, the various backdrops for you to like go in, the Emperor's throne.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was always a great little backdrop area.
Yeah, that one's always
Yeah, the
really fun.
Emperor's
They made it a
Throne.
little like travel around the galaxy one this year where you had like a passport, you had to get your stamps, and
That's right.
it was
At
pretty
different
great. It was
booths.
great.
I got a little Mandalore stamp. I was like, "Oh, can you put that in my passport?" Actually, they're like, "No, we're not gonna." Oh, and one of my favorite things that I saw over at the little droid builders table is this Meeber Gascon riding on like a War Thunder little mouse droid.
Yes.
Is that a Reva in the
Yes.
back?
Huh?
Isn't that her name, Reva?
He's Meeber
No,
Gascon.
in the back, the cosplayer in the
yeah,
back.
there's
Oh, that's totally Reva. Yeah, from
That's
Kenobi.
almost
You're
amazing. I don't
totally
think I
right.
noticed her before.
You're totally right. Yeah, I thought that was amazing. That was totally good.
Yeah,
Ready to
that
take the
thing is
fight to the
ready for the beaches, ready for the trenches.
Oh yeah, there was a fantastic Sabe and Commander Cody that I saw on one of the 3 days.
Amazing.
Yeah, there were so many fantastic cosplays.
Yes. I just remember them. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea, right? Just weather it the good old-fashioned way. Hey, you were doing much better stuff. It's all good.
You were with us in spirit, and you got to hang out with us still, Cerealia, on Friday night. Of which, again, coming to Seattle and being able to see people once a year is always just like it's one of those great things of like getting to come home and visit, and then
Yeah, it was so good
go
to
back.
see you, dude. This
Dude,
this
the
is
blue
the
Royal Guard,
the elite
Such a
Royal Guard,
cheap
the Phantom
design.
Menace blue.
such
So
an
good.
absolute peak design. I love it so
Look at his grin
much.
too. He knows how elite this costume is. He's like, yes, that's
You
right.
know,
I am the
kind
upper
of-
crust of Star Wars cosplay right now. Like,
And it does
God,
kind
you
of
don't see that every day.
emphasize more the complete detachment from the Republic when it did become the Galactic Empire, because when they don the red, they do the face shield, so it's like you can't even see the person under there anymore. So it's
Right.
like you become so detached from like, oh dude, this is just like
At this point,
massive
they're
guard. I don't know
a
if he's under
faceless
there.
mechanism in the Galactic
Exactly.
Senate machine. But back then, like, I don't know, I love the Senate. I love the ridge on top of the Senate Guard helmet. It's so Spartan, you know. There's
Yes.
something very old world about it.
Very Roman.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
This pic is from the meetup.
this is from the meetup. Yes, we're going to talk about the meetup in just a second. There's one more cosplay that I found. Maybe my favorite that we found all day. Dude, everyone loves the Blue Guard. Are you kidding? The Blue Guard is elite. But Darth Jar Jar. I was Darth Jar Jar myself once for Halloween. Do Halloween costumes count as cosplay? Bendu, you have the expert opinion here.
Some of them.
Not always. It depends on like time. Usually the running joke is on Halloween cosplayers just wear onesies. You know, like the running joke is on Halloween is the one time a year cosplayers don't give a shit about their
The
costume.
effort's just not worth it.
It's also the time of year that usually they get harassed by the most people asking them if they can borrow something.
Oh, you know what? That's
thankfully, I
true.
don't
That's
have
true.
that problem. I am
I was
quite
going to be a
small
cosplayer. I'd be a secret cosplayer.
Yeah.
So no one knew that
I was saying I gotta
an
wear
arsenal
ours
of
for
like props.
the family Halloween contest. I could
Yeah,
win
you could
2 years
clean
in a
up.
row. Maybe 2 years in a row.
Ensure you take home the trophy. I think this might be the best cosplay shot of us. In like we found another group of Star Wars people.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so on brand for you because you're Garza and there's a bunch of Tatooine folks, including another Twi'lek. That's Ula, by the way. That's Ula, and people that had Return of the Jedi on Laserdisc will be very familiar with Ula. Hello there, Promax Media. How you doing, man?
Yeah, this group was great. We saw them a couple times and ran into them again the next day. Recognized me because I was the exact same cosplay.
It like I'm still blown away by that damn Gamorrean. He looks so good, and he was so committed to it too. Like he was like snorting around in
kind
character.
Snorting. He was definitely snorting, like grunting, like as he, and like he kind of like did have a sort of like kind of like hunched as his walk too.
Yeah. And they were both chained. He was holding the chains.
Wow, I'm even like standing like Kyle Katarn in this photo. Look like I'm on the cover of the CD-ROM game. That's really funny.
I also want to give you shout out, best friend, for the whole time you were using gun safety and not once ever was your finger on the trigger. Something I didn't
want to accidentally shoot. I don't want to accidentally blast anyone. You know.
Yeah.
A couple times I saw Rhodians and they had to check for disruptors. They had to like go around the corner real fast. Use a mirror before you go out there so you don't get blasted. Yeah, no. Wearing a cosplay was really fun. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about comfort, about how much I sweat.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, and a lot of people
wait to adjust.
That was fun too. It was like cool. It's like people still believe in Santa, you know, like people still believe in Kyle Katarn. Like even though those games are old, people still love it. They still love the character, and that made me feel very happy too.
Well, it was like an intro. It was an intro game to PC gaming. You know, like it was one of those 100%. Fundamentals that like you didn't really have a lot of options, but you just played certain games because like that's all. It's kind of like all you had.
Exactly.
Like, in the early '90s, you had X-Wing, TIE Fighter, and then you had one other random flying game where you used a joystick and like you were like a different kind of like. You're almost like a Starship Trooper fighter, and like you're just like dropping bombs.
Was it like
and,
from the cockpit or something?
But it was all flying stuff. It was all flying ship stuff. And then Doom came out, and there was like, you know, with the gun hand.
Yeah, the amount of Doom characters.
Dark Forces was when Star Wars got their own Doom, and so people were so excited.
Dude, the amount of Doom cosplayers was amazing.
They looked so good, dude.
The majority of them were all in groups. My only cosplay disappointment is I was so disappointed the entire weekend. I only saw one Agatha Harkness, and it was on Sunday.
Oh, I saw her.
I didn't, like, in the hindsight, totally forgot to even just like ask her for a fucking selfie. Yeah. But like, I was amazed. I saw maybe 2 Wiccans the whole weekend. A singular Agatha Harkness. I was like, wow. I'm just
wasn't exactly amazed. A Wiccan weekend.
It wasn't. I was very surprised. Very surprised. But the amount of Dune cosplayers, though, they showed up. They absolutely
committed. The full nose, the full blue contacts,
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, and the dude next to me, who's Atreides, he was Andor at the 501st booth the next day.
Oh, that works good.
Yeah, no, he looked great as well. Speaking of Andor, the Andor trailer came out this week, and we're going to react to that in just a second and talk about it before we wrap up our discussion about Emerald City. I just wanted to talk about the Kyle Katarn meetup that we did on Friday.
And the Sabacc tournament /teaching.
Yeah, it was so cool. We had a meetup in like room 330 on the summit level. And I wasn't expecting much of a turnout, but like, look at this photo. Look at how many people came in.
Yeah. And a lot of people had left by this point too.
If I can, there we go.
Phenomenal.
Woo.
Look at this. Especially a special shout out to the IG88 puppeteer and cosplayer.
With the Grogu.
Amazing.
Yeah, IG89? Or is it 87? What did they changed the name? Yeah. They changed the name when he became the Grogu piloted thing, but I don't remember what they changed it to. But I was so happy. So many people came out, and I really wasn't expecting a great turnout, but I guess I don't know why. You know, all these people came out and they were stoked to meet me, and yeah, it was a really, really positive experience. It went really well.
Also, shout out.
I know the dog. Hey, that was an Ewok, by the way. That dog is a wicked.
Yeah, that's the
brown thing on him.
I saw the Ewok all over.
Yeah.
The Ewok was a big.
He was wearing a poncho.
But
meetup was especially like I had so much fun. I did the like Sabacc tournament with my like homemade Sabacc, and that was fun and hectic. But I really what was so great about the meetup for me was what happened after the meetup. Because one of the I don't know who it was, but one of the persons in that photo stopped me on my way out, and we had done a raffle. I think it's the one with the purple and the red lightsaber crisscross.
Oh, Revan. You're talking about Revan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was who it was. We did a raffle. We raffled off some like pretty awesome. I'm just gonna say awesome stuff, real awesome stuff. And
yeah, it was so good. It was so awesome.
And
you don't get to know what it was.
He gave me some raffle tickets. He's like, I got these raffle tickets for the Ultra Sabers booth, and they're gonna do a drawing at 6 p.m. and I want you to have them. And he gave me 2 raffle tickets. Sunday? It was on Friday, that same night. He was gonna leave too early.
On Friday.
It was right after the meetup. The meetup ended at like 4:45. He's like, the drawing is at 6.
We were going out to food Factory at that time.
And having, we were gonna have dinner.
Yeah,
and I was like, I gotta go.
I remember that. I just didn't remember like if we were like what we were dressed as or if we were in normal clothes.
I raced back.
Yeah, I guess so. Everyone, you guys were in normal clothes. Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, well, I had my Park Forces swag, which Kyle has on today. That's what I was wearing. Right now, I've got some Japan swag right now. But yeah, it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'll 2 tickets. It's not not going to give me much chance. And
right,
what do you know? I won a lightsaber, and that was probably my favorite part of the meetup. And
That's so sick. That's so sick. And which lightsaber is that?
That is Ahsoka's lightsaber.
Hell yeah.
There was this other girl who also won, and she was pretty pissed because I got to pick the saber before her, and that was the one that she wanted.
Yoink.
Yeah.
Snatched. No, that's so good. That's the will of the Force right there.
Yeah.
You won.
Thank you to whoever that was that gave me those raffle tickets. My heart is out to you, and I appreciate you so much.
Sabers.
Thank you, Ultra Sabers.
And shout out to Ultra Sabers for doing the giveaway. I was like just sort of scouting out that Ultra Sabers booth, and man, some of the sabers that they put out, like they've got the Gunji saber now.
Oh my god!
It looks so good, dude. Rubies, polished wood with like the silver and the inlay and ruby. God, need it. We both have to like calm ourselves down.
The Disney parks. Well, now I'm curious. Now I'm insanely curious. Like next time we randomly or go to Anaheim, or like actually if Ultra Sabers is even at Celebration in Tokyo,
I'm sure they will.
Try to take a double look and see how much that Gungi saber is, because that thing, with the silver and the rubies and the wood, God, that was clean.
It was beautiful, dude.
It was,
And I remember fawning over that lightsaber in the episode when we first see it back in Clone Wars in the arc. Make their it's such a good saber.
It's gonna happen one of these days.
I was so happy he still had it when we see him in Bad Batch. Like, holy shit, he's out there. He's still alive. I keep forgetting that. Like, we're gonna see him again. Like, his story's not over.
He's just being a brick house.
But let's talk about Andor, you guys.
All right.
It's a new trailer. It's called the official trailer, but I could have sworn the official trailer already came out. So is this trailer 2? Was the first one a teaser? The other one with the song, that was a teaser, I guess. Because then we got a special look, and now we've got this one. I liked the one with the song. I thought it was good. It was a different vibe.
Yeah.
But the special look was a banger. The special look was where I got really excited. The way they presented everything was very different. And now something completely different again. Let's check out the trailer to Andor Season 2. First time reaction for the Bendu on that side. For the Bendu.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I've been doing really well not watching anything online because I really want to go into Season 2 like as completely unadulterated as possible. Yeah. Sure. And like even the other day I rewatched Rogue One, and just like it's so glorious. It's so glorious. The whole cast just like put their whole selves into it.
It's so good.
And like the fact that Krennic is gonna show up in Season 2, like I love that diva. He's such a prima donna. Like, he is. I love him so much.
You know that cape was not standard. None of these
characters are gonna live.
That cape was non-regulation. He added that shit.
Yeah, it's just like there was rumor that we could also get Mad Mikkelsen as not Jyn Erso, Galen Erso. I was like, what's Jin's dad's name? Yeah, so like if we do
Senior.
Nicholson, badass, glorious. I love seeing Caecilius. I have yet to still see him in Hannibal. Hannibal is absolutely on my watch list.
I haven't watched that yet either, actually.
Dude's great. Season 2 is going to be a lot of fun. Goddamn, I am not looking forward to the way that they broke down the episodes, though. I'm not looking forward to that. I am curious why they did that.
I mean, they did it for the fans, not for the creators. They did it because people are getting like
in hindsight,
Star Wars a week, and I get why that's awesome. But like the creator part of me is like, oh my god, the editing.
So I think they did it because it's going to be the easiest way for them to break down and differentiate timelines. So I think like each 3 episodes is going to be like its own little mini story arc that's going to eventually bring us to Rogue One. So it's just going to be like, all right, these first 3 episodes, this time period, second 3 episodes, this time period, third 3 episodes, like, boom, we're breaking Jen out of prison. Here's K2SO. Let's fucking go.
I feel like they could still convey the time skips every 3 weeks, and audiences can handle that. I think that very well could be the rationale why they're doing it. I think they're trying to get the show done as quickly as possible so it can qualify for award season. I think they're trying to like work with that deadline maybe as well. I don't know. All I know is we're going to be up very late past our bedtime.
Yeah.
But it's all good because it turns out they're dropping at 6 p.m. Pacific.
We called it?
Midnight.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, dude. So I'm not going to be yawning in my reaction, which I hate doing, but sometimes I'm up at like 2 a.m. trying to watch Bad Batch and like.
We will be coming back and that same day.
Well, I mean, whatever. I'm going to be. So it drops on the 22nd. We're on a plane on the 23rd.
22nd.
Oh, we're on a plane on the 20th. Okay, so we're on a plane. But there's also a chance that they're going to show the damn episode.
It's going to be a Wednesday show.
They might show the damn episode at Celebration.
Yeah, they probably will. They asked
the Andor panel. You'd get that too. That.
But I'm in the Andor panel. I'm on the streaming stage for the Andor panel.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be in the room, but I'll be watching. So I don't know if we get the episodes on the streaming stages. Maybe just Doc and Connie and everyone in that room will get the stream.
April 22nd. Oh, so it's a Tuesday show. Oh,
it's always been it always comes out on Wednesday. That's Tuesday at midnight, right? Or is it actually coming out midnight on Monday?
I'm saying the 22nd
is a Tuesday.
Oh, damn. So Tuesday at 6 p.m. Cool. R.I.P. the Dork Force podcast. We're going to have to move the time slot again. Every time, man. Every time a show comes out, it's like we're a little car or like we're a little boat, and then a cruise ship like goes past it. Like we get caught in the wake and flung in a direction. So this time we're getting flung at 9 p.m. or we're getting flung at Monday. We'll figure that out later. But I don't think 6 p.m. Tuesday is going to cut it or like 7 if we got 3 hours of Andor.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
We'll figure something else out. We're going to be rearranging all kinds of things. But for now, let's react to the Andor Season 2 trailer. Let's go.
I came with you to be part of something.
Massive.
Love that shot.
The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission.
Oh man, Forrest Whitaker.
Man, she has no good.
If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
Oh,
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. The monster will come for us all.
boy.
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
There's a future here for those who dare.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
We'll go through it
so
shot by
funny?
shot. But what's your initial reaction?
What's so funny is knowing how much of an extremist Saw Gerrera is, just knowing in hindsight how fundamentally hilarious it's going to be that he's going to be the one calming everyone down and being like, no, we shouldn't be that extremist. No. But he's the one who's always like, oh yeah, no, let's blow the shit up. But like, he's going to be this one this season who's like, no, we can't do that. It's going to be too obvious. Like, he's going to be the one trying to calm everyone down. It's like,
yeah,
you know shit is crazy when Saw Gerrera is the voice of reason.
Yeah,
he's gonna match energy. I'm telling you,
he does do that.
Well,
he does match energy.
That's the other thing too, right? Like, there's so many people who are going to, for one reason or another, they're not going to make it to the end of the show. And if anything, we're going to see the reasons that make Saw Gerrera be as angry and absolutely extremist as he is in Rogue One, and then same with Andor. We're going to see the exact reasons that like Andor went full assassin, because like in season 1 we just see him as like kind of criminal, kind of just like John Connor in Judgment Day of like, hey, I just want to break into this ATM so I can get money. Yeah, and then but now he's just like, you know what? My life's been affected too much. I've seen people die. You know, there was the revolution on his initial planet where old lady died, and then soldiers got hit in the face with bricks. You know, like there's a lot. Yeah, and then so like
it was a lot.
Yeah, this season 2, there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff that's going to happen.
A lot. It looks like a lot is going to happen. A lot of stories.
It's going to be so cool. I think there's going to be some people. Obviously, you can't please everyone, right? So I think there's going to be some people who are going to be upset that they're not going to see Chirrut Imwe, or they're not going to see like some of the other beloved characters that we get to see in Rogue One. But again, like this show isn't their story necessarily. So like if we randomly get a show about like the monks of the Wills or like the story of the Wills, then boom, yeah, cool. Then like Chirrut Imwe can have like his Visions episode.
Right.
But like as far as Andor is concerned, like, oh man.
We'll see characters as they pertain to Cassian's story.
Oh man.
Shout out to Bill Skarsgård. Gonna overlap Rogue One, or do we think it's just gonna butt up into it?
I mean, okay, so there's a shot pretty early on here that I want to pause on that I think might answer that question.
What I'm really confused about is how much it's gonna line up with the Rebels episode, because it's like the other romanticism.
I think it will.
The other romantic idea is like we could see Ghost Crew, or we could see Hera, or we could see the projection. I think we might projection that she put on the radio of like, I'm no longer going to be part of the Senate, sort of a thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff that was overlaying whilst Rebels was happening, whilst this whole thing is happening.
This season, this is season 4 of Rebels.
Yeah, but it's like if we see Tarkin, oh man, like
they could. I was talking about that earlier because like it would make sense because he was in Rogue One, but it also like Disney can't resist any opportunity to like flex their technology. Especially if like they've made it look better, because he was a little janky still in Rogue One. It was impressive at the time, but like it hasn't really aged. But if this is their opportunity to be like, look how much better it looks now. Like,
but are they going to show us
for them to pass up?
But do they have the courage to show us the war crime? Will they show us?
I think so. But look at this shot. Look at Saw Gerrera. He's on Jeddah. He's looking out the window, and you see what he can see. There's the Star Destroyer floating above Jeddah City, and that happened like weeks before Rogue One. That's weeks before Rogue One. So like we're coming right up against it, I think.
Okay.
Infiltrating. This is clearly like an Imperial place. It looks like very clean. Maybe Senate. So this is the Gorman massacre about to happen.
Oh God, dude.
The Gorman massacre is what set the events in motion in that episode of Rebels. It was season 3, Secret Cargo. Mon Mothma has to get smuggled out of the Empire and given to the Ghost Crew. And then they're chased through the crazy Ion Nebula by Volt Scaris, and they shoot torpedoes at the nebula, and it like blasts fire onto the Star Destroyer. It's really badass, actually. But the reason she had to flee is because she denounced Palpatine publicly for this atrocity. And we see her in the Senate looking absolutely shell-shocked.
Yeah, she looked like.
Look at those eyes. She has seen atrocity.
Oh yeah, no, she's
there's
crying her eyes out.
Listening, you can see the knot in her throat.
that would be
She's also probably like
a really big moment.
Because by the end of season 1, her husband and daughter were both like ready to just turn her in as a traitor to the Empire. Like
Didn't
both
you see
of
a
them
little
were
bit of
just
that?
like.
There will be more family stuff
like,
because we see her daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Trying to find it here. I think that she's going to try and pin everything on her husband, and he's going to go down for it, like you're saying. Because she flees alone. She flees to the rebellion solo. She doesn't have everyone else with her.
Okay, so that little clip. The internet's losing their shit because they think what's her nuts, not
talk
Cyril.
about it.
Everyone thinks that it's Vader choking her out. I think she easily could just be having a panic attack. I think she's just freaking out. I think she's probably just like having a freak out, and her
Let me
collar's
see it
just
again. Let me see it again.
Just the moment.
Just this part, yeah, just this part. Yeah, it's hard to say. Kind of looks like she's crying,
Right?
not
breathing.
She's not gasping for air. She's like hyperventilating.
It does look like a panic attack.
It's like my collar's too tight, kind of thing.
Like this room is too
she's
high.
just having a run-of-the-mill meltdown.
Yeah, she just went into the freezer at work and screamed.
Yeah, literally, exactly. This is just a classic walk-in closet situation in the cooler. So yeah, we'll start at the beginning here, and we'll just look at stuff, see what we see.
I came with you to be part of something.
So the Gorman massacre, right? People are protesting because taxation of trade routes, like supply lines are being cut off to Gorman. People have had enough of the Empire overstepping. That's Gorman. That's the city of Gorman on the planet of Gorman. In Legends, Tarkin.
Shipwreck Cove in the city of Shipwreck. Buy all the ship.
It is a nice little coastal town. Apparently, Tarkin lands his warship on the protesters, just squishes them. And that's the Gorman massacre. I don't know if we're going to see that happen. There's a bit of debate about whether or not it's a Star Destroyer. Some people say it's his personal warship, so it could be the Carrion Spike. Some people say it could be a Victory class. Either way, he squished people with a ship. That much happened.
How big is a Star Destroyer?
Well, I mean, a Star Destroyer is massive. You saw the one in Rogue One. It was the size of the city of Jeddah. It was so big. Just looming above it.
Is it bigger than that mountain? Is it as big as that mountain?
It's like as big as.
It's like smaller than the mountain, but it's
a big city.
It's the bulk
of the city. Too.
It's the bulk of the city.
I think it's bigger than at least it's as big as 90% of that city. Probably the biggest, the outer wall that kind of looks like a pentagon or like a six-sided star.
Yeah,
definitely triangularly fit in that and just sit.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say they kind of asked for it by having this little pointy front that perfectly fits the nose of the Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah, if it comes in and turns around, yeah.
It kind of looks like a parking space if you're a Star Destroyer. I'm just saying. This is a great shot. This is an homage to The Empire Strikes Back. That shot of Leia.
Who is that?
That's Dedra.
Okay.
That's Dedra Miro. Probably in her. It looks like it's an apartment. It could be an office. But in The Empire Strikes Back, Leia is looking out the window on Cloud City in a very similar shot.
The Empire cannot win.
So there's Saw on Jeddah, and you can see the size of the Star Destroyer versus the size of the city below it. It's very, very big.
Must be far away.
1.5 kilometers. That's how big a Star Destroyer is. Thank you,
boy. Okay.
We need more space Bostonians. I'm into it. So we were talking about this planet. We don't really know where it is. It could be Lothal. There's reasons to support
this. It could
I thought that.
All that high grain.
Yeah.
It's going to be where Brasso and everyone gets jammed up. Look at Saw. He is in full Rogue One mode here.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
When we saw him in season 1, he didn't look quite so banged up. Like he was wearing like a regular jacket. He didn't have all these extra parts yet. So like the life support development is new, and we're going to find out a little bit more specifically about what happened. Maybe
it's a different kind of.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
This one is this is definitely her denouncing Palpatine.
Do you think he's in there?
I don't know. I think we are 10 times more likely to see Palpatine than we are to see Vader. Palpatine makes sense for the story.
If anything, it's probably that big blue guy who has like the 4 horns.
Masameda, the Chagrian. Yeah, Masameda. That would make more sense, just logistically. I feel like bringing Ian McDiarmid in for this would be a masterstroke. It would really kind of like just give it that cherry on top of authenticity of like, this is Star Wars. There's the Emperor. He's right there, you know.
But also, wouldn't it be the perfect like kick in the teeth to be like, the Emperor doesn't find this meeting important, therefore he sent it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right?
I don't even care about the protesters who died. Like, this is beneath me. Wow.
I
don't have time.
That son of a bantha. He would do that. You know what? I hope we don't see that Moof Milker now for that reason, because that makes him so much more just easy.
Could you imagine?
Evil, yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I like I said, it makes sense to me more than Vader. I'd be way more shocked if we actually saw Vader. Again, I support your theory, Bendu. I think that was a panic attack. I don't think anybody's getting choked. But I want to talk about Genevieve O'Reilly's acting for a minute. Like, look at that incredible look in her eyes. Like, she has been acting her heart out as Mon Mothma. And this is a George Lucas original casting, ladies and gentlemen. George Lucas is the one who picked her to be Mon Mothma in the prequels. And she has been absolutely nailing it. And I'm so glad that she gets to come back and like really flourish in the character beyond just like a deleted scene here and there. And it's been such a treat. And the continuity that it brings to us is wild too. Like, it was cool enough that she got to be Mon Mothma in Rogue One after being in the prequels, but like, yeah, really, really enjoying her performance. And it's going to be heartbreaking to see.
Tortured, yeah. Such a tortured.
We're gonna have the same look she has on her face is going to be on our faces by the end of some of these episodes. I think it's.
So as my brain buffers a little bit more on the Palpatine subject, I am really glad if we didn't see him in season 2 of Rogue One, because the idea again of the Emperor being just this huge looming foreboding figure just empowers that propaganda and just like empowers that idea and that image. Because we didn't see him in Rogue One, we didn't see him in season 1, or no, we got to hear his voice in season 1. But the fact that we got to see him in the Kenobi show, I'm super happy with that. The fact that we got to see
as a hologram
and Ian McDermott as Palps, like that was absolutely phenomenal. With season 2 of Andor, considering that we have Qyburn, well, he's not Qyburn, but we
Major
have
Cardigan.
head of the ISB. Yeah, we have head of the ISB. Maester Qyburn. We have Tarkin. We have Krennic. We have so many other cool Imperial officers and like Imperial characters. Yeah, man, like Deidre, even like there's so many other cool people that I think I'd rather spend time with than Palpatine.
That's fair. And if we all we get is Masameda, and he's just like, I'm just the errand boy because Palpatine couldn't be bothered, I think that would be a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We got boots on the ground. Could these be Rebel Pathfinders? Like straight up Rebel Alliance soldiers for the first time in this show? Like, we already know we're going to Yavin. We've established we're not fermenting pockets anymore. Like, I think
we got to
our first time seeing military action from the Rebels, like actual military action. We've seen a heist. We've seen a riot. We haven't seen like a strike. You know what I mean? Like operatives going in and taking down a target. We haven't quite got there yet. Like, this is that transition thing. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just wondering, because there's been a couple shots, of the, of like, just some people, like just regular people in like a town, in like a little farm, and like a, and
the wheat fields.
Could these be them mobilizing, as a grassroots thing, finally stepping up? And
that's a good idea. It looks like a different location. They've gone to a different planet if that's the case, because now they've got this.
I know, as the green was saying, I was kind of hesitant.
Cinta and Vel, everyone's favorite lesbian terrorist power couple.
Is that both of them?
Yeah,
I can't tell.
That's them.
No, it's
That's totally both of them. Which I'm sure Vel is really happy about, and Cinta is fully ambivalent about.
Man,
God, their relationship was so one-sided in season 1. It really cracked me up. Like,
dude, and then I'm calling it now. One of them's gonna die, and it's just gonna
I think they're both gonna die.
Another one in extreme.
I think they're both.
Are they gonna die together?
These two are powerhouse. They're like these are some of the best
like
operators.
Tonks and Lupin.
So.
We're just gonna see both of their bodies, and they're just gonna be holding hands.
Cinta and Vel are the cream of the crop. They are the best operatives the Rebels have right now, besides Cassian Andor. If they were alive during Rogue One, they would have been there. They would have been on that planet, stealing those plans alongside him. They were nowhere to be found, and it's not because they were busy. They were dead. Like, that's the problem. Some of these characters are like so competent and so invaluable that you can't really justify why they didn't help unless they're not alive anymore. Like this was it. And like normally you're like, well, it's a big galaxy, Kyle. There's a lot of little conflicts happening everywhere. It's a huge front for the war. It's like, yeah, but this was the one time in galactic history that everybody dropped what they were doing.
Yeah, no, this show
helped get those plans out there. So Cinta and Vel would definitely have been part of that. Yeah. So I think they're both dying. I think Luthen is dying for the exact same reason. Luthen would have been in that briefing telling Jyn Erso what to do instead of Mon Mothma and Bail. Luthen would have been the one doing that if he was alive to do it. So, yeah, and we should be prepared for this because it happens to us in Rogue One. It's going to happen to us again here. That's what I think.
So sad.
It is sad. It is sad. It's moving. It's like it's all about sacrifice and like laying down their lives to like make other people free, and like it doesn't get more
without than that. The knowledge that it will actually work. You know, like hope.
With hope. It's just hope.
That's the whole thing. It's all about hope.
No guarantees that the plan's going to pull off, but they did it anyway.
Which I think makes it a lot easier, honestly, for us to digest. Like it's not going to be as sad. You know, so like with Game of Thrones, right? Like everything was blind, or with Grey's Anatomy, any show, they give you a large group of people, they give you character development, they make you pick favorites, and then some cataclysmic event happens, everybody dies. And they're just like, oh my God, why did they kill off so-and-so? Well, it's like, whereas this is just like, oh man, like how are they gonna show Chewbacca dying by a moon? You know, it's like this character is so badass. How are they going to take out a bunch of
Vector Prime?
You know,
shout out to R. Salvatore. He squished that Wookiee.
Yeah, yeah. So
no, I hear you though.
It's going to be one of those moments of just like you're gonna cheers them as it happens, sort of a deal.
Right. Like, I salute you, but I wish you didn't have to do this kind of thing.
Yeah. No rebel dies in vain.
Exactly, Nathan. That's what Bendu's saying too, is that like audiences would be so shocked because you get this group of people and then they kill them off once you're attached to them. And then Game of Thrones fully traumatized us. They took it a little bit too far, and then we're all acting like veterans that have been in a war for a really long time. And it's like, I'm not going to bother to learn your name till you've survived like a season and a half.
Nope, they're dying.
Yeah, like I'm not making attachments with anyone anymore.
But like,
tell them Rob, they're dying.
Now that you kind of say that though, season one definitely wasn't afraid of like we're gonna kill this character as a metaphor. Like the fact that the youngest, most revolutionary, here's my manifesto, like dude gets crushed by credits, like dude dies by gold. Like that's just, I love how Star Wars was just like very Drax of like metaphor.
You know? Literally crushed him with money. It was very on the nose.
Yeah.
No, I enjoy that very much. But yeah, Cinta and Vel, they're about to ambush some sort of a convoy in this scene. It looks like they could even still be on Ferrix. There's water and light on the ground, but it almost looks like a cobblestone, like a brick kind of pattern. Could be Ferrix. This could be the direct aftermath of season 1. Like we don't really know what happened to Ferrix after the riot. We may not like the answer either.
If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
Fuck yeah. That's the line of the trailer.
You're speaking literally or metaphorically here.
I think both. I think
I
both.
know.
He's like, yeah, and the first, and honestly, like, oh man, break my heart into a million pieces. The thing that it makes me think of when he's it'll burn very brightly is Cassian and Jin like embracing as the super laser beam hits the beach on Scarif, and like the last thing he ever sees is like the very bright burning, and then they're both gone.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So sad.
Damn. That,
Yeah. So
oh man, I hate how much his
I
death just hangs over him in this show. Like you just like he's moving closer to his own demise with every step. Like when it was so chilling when he got sentenced to more time than he has left alive.
Yeah.
That prison thing. He was given 9 years, and it's like, bro doesn't even have like 3 years left.
Like Woodsy, I see you and I hear in like for a hot second where you're like, I think Saw kills Luthen because he might see him getting soft. I just want to remind you real quick. I just want to read this out loud. What do you sacrifice? Calm, kindness, kinship, love. I've given up all chance of inner peace. I've made my mind a sunless place. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote years ago, of which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger and my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight has set me on a path for which there's no escape, etc., etc. Do those sound like the words of a man who's going soft at any point in his life?
I
That's
know.
the one thing that no one could ever accuse Luthen of being is soft. Like he is the definition of locked in.
He is, yeah.
No one has ever been more locked in than Luthen about toppling the Empire. So this is going to be dope. And honestly, one thing that I noticed about this shot, other than the fact that like, yay, TKs, and they're going to be fighting the TIE Avenger. Like, obviously that's what's happening here, which I think is on Lothal because Sinar Systems develops the TIE Avenger, and Sinar Systems has a factory on Lothal. So it all comes full circle. But I love the way they frame things in Andor. The way you've got like hallways that lead to larger spaces. That shot of Saw Gerrera early on too, where like he's looking at Jeddah City and the whole thing's framed through the window. In season 1, we had all these shots in Mon Mothma's apartment where like you'll have Mon Mothma and Perrin, and then a doorway framing the shot, and then like another window outside. He really plays with like shapes within shapes, and I love it. It's really cool how quickly Andor was able to establish its own like visual language within Star Wars. Like the way they frame all these shots, it's like, oh, that's clearly a shot from the show Andor because they always do this with their cinematography. It's a cool earmark once you notice it, you know, and I love stuff like that. This is where you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
So this is all people.
Pants.
These are all people that lived on Ferrix that Andor got into the shuttle and got off world at the very end. So Bix is here, Brasso's here.
God.
They're living here
as well.
Oh, there's B2 Emo in the corner.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah. Look at that little red dude.
I'm trying to see if there's any Loth cats anywhere.
I'm trying to see if there's any gonk droids. The real. I like the moisture evaporator off in the distance, just to remind you. That's totally a moisture evaporator on the horizon.
Is that a bantha with like gigantic horns?
It's like a yak, yeah. It's like
a
bantha, yeah.
Oh, he's like eating a bunch of like a trough of hay.
He's cute. Hope nothing terrible happens to him in this episode. Yeah, the little spikes on top of the tent kind of look like a Lothcat's ears.
I know.
It does, though.
But these are the nice folks of Ferrix who tried to flee that Cassian sent to safety. So Bix is here, Brasso's here, B2 Emo's here, and the kid, the son of the guy who owned the radio shop, the kid who threw the bomb and blew up the tank, and then like it hit the thermal detonators, which hit the thermal imploders. It was like a Rube Goldberg machine, and like it blew up half the fucking city block during the riot. You remember that? He threw like one pipe bomb, and it, like the chain reaction, everything exploded. Because they like disappeared.
I see you down there. If they give us the Alfred Hitchcock, if they don't show us and they just make us imagine it for ourselves, that would be pretty smart. That would be a very easy way for them to get away with the filming of it and not absolutely show a massacre and blood on the streets.
No, I think we're gonna see it. I think we will.
I think it's gonna be I wouldn't say like
But if I'm
tasteful, but they're
giving
going to be obscuring things, you know, blurred backgrounds, mostly things off screen, lots of
Oh,
screen.
you know what they could do? You know what they could do? Remember the very last episode of Midnight Mass when all the vampire people start singing their chimes and they make peace with the fact that the sun comes
Spoilers.
up and they burn all the buildings down and they're all about to die. And
Any
all of a sudden
opportunity to bring up Midnight Mass.
You just hear the chorus cut out. You're just like, oh.
They could.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're totally going to do sort of like a no music credits, just like screaming sounds, kind of like impactful, make you sit with it.
Zoom in on one person's face as all the.
I don't think they're
chaos
going to
happens.
shy away from it, though. I think this is the one show where they're grown up enough to like really make you experience it.
everything.
But we got Bix and we got Brasso looking lovely with their smiles, having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
We can't have that. We can't have happy people in this show. Are you kidding me? Something awful's about to happen, clearly.
Yeah.
People don't get to have good times in this show. It's not that kind of thing. Wipe
But
that
are they
smile off
rebels?
your face. Well, these are the people
I mean,
of
now
Hera.
they are.
I know, but I'm just saying, are they?
Whether they like
Yeah,
it or not,
that
they've
dude-
Or are
become
they
rebels.
just
That dude
people?
was weird.
The
That
rebels
dude
are
was
trying to.
weird.
He
The
smashed
guy
the
who-
Liberate.
guy in the face with a brick. So I guess that, like, just by his actions, you know, because they fought the stormtroopers in the riot, even though they were
He's a
defending their
traitor to the
home, they're now
Empire.
rebels.
Mhm.
As far as the Empire is concerned, they're
Right.
rebels. You know, they're just trying to exist. They're just trying to live their life. They're not necessarily trying to fly X-wings, but
But as far as like their decision to continue to join in the
How
fight,
dare
and
they
be like,
be
well, I'm not a rebel, you know.
well,
Could be. I'm not saying they are. but
you're tying it into your thought that maybe these are the boots. The boots,
boots.
moving up and down again. There's no discharge in season 2.
And
I
Andor.
want to win.
Like, well, I mean,
I'm so glad she's black.
Bix's words right here are totally.
I want to win.
If she's gonna fight, she wants to win.
I'm giving up
Yeah.
everything. I want to
Yeah.
win.
So I think they're committed. I think they're in. They're just waiting.
Andor
for the
said we
moment.
can't let the Empire win. That's what he said too.
Go Zonti,
Which makes
class,
it so much more
light,
tragic.
cruiser. Fucking
Girl,
ties under the wing.
baby girl, I give you props for thinking you're gonna get to see the win. You know, like, you guys are the very beginning of this revolution, baby girl. You guys aren't gonna get to see that sunset. I'm so sorry.
She's the foundation.
so
She's
sorry.
not the. Yeah, she's gonna get
And
buried.
you went through the most painful, torturous Bluetooth headphones imaginable, my girl.
Oh my
I'm
God, that's
so
right.
sorry.
Listening
God.
cause the most damage. Are we ready? Let's get on with it.
Yeah, for hours.
Star Wars were cool.
It was terrible. You're right, though. You're right, though. She's not going to live to see it, and it's. I mean, I don't know. Is she being naive? What she says that if she sacrifices everything, she wants to win, and I think she's saying that if I lay down my life, I want to know it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's counting her own life within everything in that statement. I think she's ready to
If
die.
I'm giving up everything. I want to win.
But also, I want to win. Like, she wants to be there to see it, and
I'm
doesn't
giving
know,
up everything.
you know, like, yeah.
We
That's
have
a
to.
guarantee.
See, that's the kid. That's the kid who threw the bomb over her shoulder.
Oh.
We must stand together.
Ooh, yeah. So look at this. First of all, gorgeous location.
So beautiful.
I think we've seen it before. I think we've seen this before in the Clone Wars and possibly Bad Batch.
God,
It
that's
could
such a
be.
Jedi looking temple. Look at that. That's so
I-
Buddhist monk in the
See,
mountains.
dude, I think
love
it might be. I think that might be Tarkin's fucking
Look at that
estate
ship.
from Ariadu.
Yeah. there's just-
Oh, that's
Look
true
at it
because he lives
sometimes.
in Switzerland. He lives in
He lives up
the
there,
Star
yeah,
Wars
which-
Alps,
Which is where
That's
Tech
right.
died.
or Austria. Yeah,
Same planet.
is that really where
This
Tech
is where
died?
they were.
Oh, that's
on
right.
the-
Right. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
Where's
this
the
is
light
place-
rail?
This is the place that they tried to sneak into and Saw Gerrera and the partisans.
Oh
got
yeah,
there
look at this, like
first.
a bridge down there.
This was
Totally.
right.
where it all
Oh
happened.
man. Oh man.
I'm still not over that. That was too sad.
Hi,
My name is Hunter, and my name is Tech.
I don't know why Rest in Peace had to be in like the Thug Life script, but
he taught Omega how to drive. That's wild.
It is absolutely the same location that we see Saw's partisans in the same trailer. They're in the same like blue light snowy area. So I think that whatever this building is, it's about to get blown to Kingdom Come by Saw Gerrera, because they got to show us that he's out here making moves. He's escalated his tactics. He's even more crazy than he was before. And like you were saying, we might see Rebels moments. I think we might see his call out hologram that he sends to Mon Mothma, calling her out, being like, maybe once like you've lost and the Empire reigns supreme across the whole galaxy, you can bring yourself some comfort knowing that you fought according to the rules. Like it's like super brutal. Like we might see that moment. I think it's too late for Ezra's hologram. I think that's already happened. But like Mon Mothma making the speech, we're going to see her get exfilled to a squad of Y-Wings. And then those Y-Wings are going to jet off. And then later we'll meet up with the Ghost crew, because that's how that happens. She's delivered by Y-Wing to the Ghost. So we're going to see her get into those Y-Wings, I think.
I noticed, I feel like there's some...
With the texting? Yes, sorry.
Right. It's always going to be too soon. But the way the shot looks, like they're above the clouds. We see some like sun, and it's like calm, and I feel like there's a dichotomy being set up, even because you look under the clouds and it's dark and brooding, and we've seen some more dark and brooding. True. And I feel like they're gonna set it up to be like, this is such a sanctuary for this guy, and
that's so Tarkin as well, to have like one sunny spot on the planet. He's like, yeah, that's my house. Everyone else lives down in the gloomy, overcast, like surface
of the Matterhorn over here.
It's a nice visual representation of like wealth and privilege, isn't it?
Woodsy, I was kind of thinking about that too. Like I was trying to remember if this is also
it's not Wedge. It's Dutch Vander. It's Gold Leader from A New Hope.
Yeah. Because I was thinking this is the same time that Luke's like a teenager and he's doing his little wombat races and shit. Because this is like, because he's not as young as he was in Kenobi. This is like definitely older than that. So I think this is
he's three ages in this season. We're gonna have 3 time periods depending on when this episode is. He's either closer to Kenobi age or he's closer to like Leia in Rogue One. This could be like really close to Rogue One, or it could be closer to season 1.
That's true. But if we're talking about the period of time, where Tarkin gets his house blown up, I think that's when. Then
he'd be young. Yeah.
I think the twins are teenagers at that point.
They're preteens. They're preteens at that point.
Preteens, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's after the Kenobi show.
Oh, for sure. This is a while after Kenobi, because Kenobi is a long time before Rogue One. It's like 10 years after, and then 9 years after that, Rogue One happens. Yeah, no. But this shot, so people have been saying it could be Scipio as well, which was one of the separatist planets that we see in the Clone Wars. I'm kind of leaning towards it being Ariadu, honestly, just because so much of Catalyst, the James Luceno Rogue One companion novel, took place on Ariadu too. So I feel like it's right there in the family of Rogue One in terms of locations to draw from.
Can you recognize the ship that's like on the landing pad?
Yes, that is an Imperial Lambda shuttle.
Yeah.
So that just further supports that this is either an Imperial place or it's currently occupied by the Empire. I think it's Tarkin's stately home on Ariadu. That's what I think. Which, if it is, blow it up. Blow it up, Saw. Do it.
Together, we will be crushed.
The tension's rising.
Who's she talking to?
Starting to show. I think she's talking to Luthen, or she might be talking to Tay Kolma, her Chandrillan guy who was helping her do the money laundering.
Oh yeah, maybe
the guy she's marrying her daughter off to his son. All right, we all know that building.
Now, the last thing my brain is trying to figure out timeline-wise is when the final Maul Kenobi in the desert duel happens. That theoretically should be before, like, in between the end of this show and the start of Rogue One. Should be in that nice little sweet spot.
I guess, yes. Well, assuming that the show doesn't end in Rogue One. because we don't know how close to Rogue One this is going to get. This might get all the way to Cassian going to that shady little moon where he shoots the guy in the back, like right up to the start. But Twin Suns happens in episode. Season 4 is pretty much concurrent with these stories in season 2 of Andor, I think, at least the later ones. So it's possible that Maul is alive in the first of these 3 arcs, and he's dead by the next arc. Because we're going to be skipping years between these ones. So season 2, episode 1, Maul's still alive. Season 2, episode 4, he's dead by now because years have gone by and they just skip over that. But like he like this is around that.
How far away from Rogue One are we right now?
Couple of years, but apparently we're jumping a few years between each arc. So we'll be swiftly getting there in this season.
A lot can happen in a couple of years.
Oh God, yeah, especially when it comes to like fascism and like stripping away of rights, and then also like resistance and building a movement. Like we're really gonna see things take shape. Like resistance.
God, look at that man.
Oh my God, Target.
Brilliant scientist. Look at that.
What a diva. What a diva. Look at that stupid tape.
Resistance is absurd.
He made it himself out of a shower curtain from his little Imperial apartment.
You know that, Julie?
That's K2SO. That's Alan.
K2SO?
It's gotta be. He's attacking an Imperial. He's the only KX droid we've seen like not be on their side. He went to Juilliard. And now he's knocking. Now he's knocking Imperials around. I want to see it again. God, it's so satisfying.
It's absurd.
He's just so ragdolled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like flicking it. Yeah.
It's absurd.
You get backhanded with like hydraulic strength, though.
It's
You're going flying. You're going flying. And that guy, that is probably a heavy dude with all that armor on and everything. Doesn't matter. Boom.
He's got all the white armor and it's weird.
I think it's supposed to delineate that this guy is like not a stormtrooper, but still Imperial. And I think it's basically Imperial Army armor that's been painted white. And I think that they're like a special detachment that work for the ISB or something.
Gotcha.
That's
what does it say? Can you read the Arabesh?
T. That's the.
Something with an O.
No, it's a double vowel one. That is OE or EO. It's a little too small. That's OO.
Left and right. I'm just kidding.
ERS. Contextually, it looks like it should say troopers, but it's T blank blank ERS.
I wonder if K2 is like the predecessor, or if SM33 was the predecessor for K2 units.
The way he's like so stocky and kind of bulbous, just
because they're so similarly built. Like I'd
be willing to bet they have a manufacturer in common.
Yeah.
The SM33 Black Series was announced today. It's a pretty good looking figure.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring good old SM33 to Celebration for y'all to see.
I would love that.
Brilliant puppet mannequin, just like.
I mean, Doug Chiang is hosting a panel about designing Skeleton Crew, so that'd be the perfect place to do that.
He just looks.
I would
the
hope
way that his extremities are, and the way that his hips are built, like he looks very similar to.
This just got released today. Check it out.
Oh,
wow!
We saw one of those at Emerald City, and we're like, it doesn't have the little rodent.
Apparently, this one comes with him. So
nice.
But yeah, that just
funny. Rat to live in the eye.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a weapon.
Okay, so it's a weapon. They're building a weapon. We're getting breadcrumbs about the Death Star, and that makes sense because in the beginning of Rogue One, they know about the Death Star and they're trying to get more info, and they've already got a whole plan to get Galen Erso. So this must be them learning about the Death Star's existence for the very first time. And that's going to be a hell of a moment, like the first time they learn about it. Also, getting to see.
That's a good idea. Good idea. It's the words are inverted and it says something towers. It's probably like left tower, right tower.
It does say left and right. I was joking before.
No, that makes sense actually.
Tower L, Tower R.
That could be a W, TOWERS. That does make sense. And then TO Towers R2D2.
R2D2.
Tuta Mishka Jabadoo Hut. As like a 7-year-old, I was like, oh, he's making that up. That's not a real language. R2D Toa. So it's R2. He says 2. And then the second time he says 2, he says Toa. It's like, why can't you say it twice?
Because it's
not Artoa,
it's the ending sound. It's the ending sound.
I don't know. I think you're making excuses
Pig Latin,
for some made up. I was like, as a little kid, I'm just like, 3PO's making it up. He's not 6 million forms my ass. He just says that and then bullshits his way through.
My ass.
His owners have no idea.
Isn't it?
Alamani Chop Chowa.
Hey, Chesko Saboba.
They're building.
Bantapudu. But yeah, any Death Star lore, I'm always happy for it. Do you think Cassian Andor is going to learn that he built the pieces ever? When he was in prison, he assembled Death Star parts.
Oh, no.
Do you think is he ever going to know that? I don't think so. I don't think he'll ever know.
We're only going to know.
I think,
Dude, the real question is, are we going to get to see Andy Serkis or not? The real question is, do we know if he found a life vest or a life preserver because our boy couldn't swim? What the fuck? Why did he feel the need to reveal that in the very last minute? He's escaping.
We're just going to see a couple of gray curly hairs washing up on the beach.
I can't swim, guys. JK. Like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? We'll carry you.
I think it was a master stroke. He was like, no, I can't swim. You guys jump. So he's the only one left. And he's like, cool, now this is my fortress. He takes over, becomes Warlord Kino Loy, and then he changes his name to Snoke.
That'd be great. That'd be
Get
amazing.
out of here.
He gets acid to the face. He changes his whole
Oh man. He pulls off the rubber suit and he's actually just Snoke underneath the whole time. He was in disguise for reasons.
A weapon.
Okay, so here we are.
Love the
More off the two tubes twins. We'll call them the 4 tubes when they're together. This is absolutely the same planet that we saw that sweeping shot of Tarkin. What I'm assuming is Tarkin's like manor house.
All those guns.
You're really studying those guys. Here, let me get you.
Look at that.
I just want to look closer. It's hard to see.
So that's Moroff.
Details since we're pausing.
His name is Moroff. He is an absolute hero. He was in Rogue One. He's on the beaches at Scarif. Absolute unit. He's been added to Galaxy of Heroes as a playable character. I think he's one of the tanks.
Nice.
Yeah, that is canon. That's the one detail I remember from the movie too. It was crazy. Yeah, they were drying out on the beach, and David Hasselhoff rescued them, brought them back to Bikini Bottom. It's all real. It turns out that's actually a documentary. I thought it was fictional, but that's kind of what Bendu was saying too. Like, will we see him? Will we see that happen? I don't know that we need to see that because that was kind of spelled out nicely with exposition and it made for a nice reveal in the movie. But I would be nice to see him, to see Krennic like communicating with him on a hologram, like getting an update on the progress of the work or something like that could be really cool. Or even finding out like, damn it, there's a problem. Okay, we'll get Galen Erso over here. What do you mean he moved? What planet did he move to? Let's go find him. Like,
yeah,
because that's how Rogue One starts. So maybe we'll see that happen. Like, you can't just like move. He works in a secret government lab. He can't just leave. What the hell?
What do you mean a farm?
Yeah. What do you mean he's at a farm? He's in Iceland? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Bix and Cassian. I hope they get to share like a tender moment each before the end of this, because there's not a whole lot of happiness left for them, I think, in their stories. So if they get to have this moment, hopefully that's not all they get, but you know, it's better than it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be so sad watching their story.
The monster will come for us all.
Ooh.
I saw someone being hilarious on Twitter saying that Mon Mothma is referring to the Zillow Beast.
That would be hilarious.
The monster's coming. Like Palpatine, what Palpatine did is evil, but just the real public service announcement that I want to talk to you guys about is the Zillow Beast.
There's always a bigger beast.
It's coming. I would have voted for Emperor Zillow Beast. I think that would have made a much better leader for the galaxy. But she's fully calling Palpatine a monster. Maybe to his face, definitely to his own Senate, which is like
audience, yeah.
That's ballsy, you know. She is calling him out in the lion's den, and like, I mean, that shot of her earlier, like looking like she just cried her eyes out, like she just witnessed something that destroyed a little bit of her soul. It's the final straw. She's going to finally come unglued, tell Palpatine what she really thinks, and then run for the door. Because how many people have fantasized about doing that to their boss, right? You're like, you know what, I really think of you, and then you're gone. So Mon Mothma finally gets to live that out.
What's going to cause her to come undone? Because I feel like in season 1 she was pretty like rigid, and
she was,
you know. So like, what's going to cause her to come undone?
She was rigid and she was collected in the beginning, but
Pressure.
remember, like, what about the end? What about the end of the show after the Ferrix? Everything went crazy on Ferrix, and she almost got like stomped out in like a gang, and then Cyril rescued her.
She straight up almost got lynched.
She did.
Absolutely.
She did. She almost got her head bashed in with a rock.
And then
Cyril drags her out of there, and she's
in his
terrified.
stalker way.
She's fully terrified when that happens. And yeah, Droid heard it. She's totally got PTSD from the riot, and that could be what this scene is.
Oh,
she's just like reliving what happened to her.
Totally.
It could also be after the Gorman massacre, and she's like realizing what she was just like a very key part of. Because like in the other trailer, we hear her saying like, "Do it," like she gives the order that spirals out of control. Maybe. I don't think it's a forced joke. I don't think Vader has anything to do with the show. I just don't think that kind of a cameo aligns with like Tony Gilroy's philosophy of how he tells his stories, Star Wars or otherwise. So I don't see that happening. But I think she's like anyone who's ever had a panic attack. Like can identify that when they look at this image. She's just like, I can't breathe.
The whole premise of this show is supposed to be about the groundwork and the ground soldiers and the politicized part of Star Wars, not
exactly
the mystical. Like,
I feel like it takes away from the story they've built if you just then bring in the Force users. It's the same reason why I hope that Luthen never gets revealed to be a secret Jedi. Like, as fun as that theory is, I feel like that would really take away from the monumental achievements of like the little people in the galaxy. Because that's the whole point of the story, is that it's not just the Skywalkers who move mountains and get shit done. It's the little people working together. And that's why I hope that we don't get Vader or Jedi Luthen.
Revolution is not for the same.
So this, I didn't notice it the first time, but Cassian's all dudded out here. He's looking all fancy and slick. So it's ironic. On the left is Cassian. So it's ironic they're about to go climb.
Oh yeah, it is.
Sewer.
Not for the same.
Makes me think of Outlaws. All those doors.
Totally sneaking in, sneaking around.
Yeah.
Just gonna go steal from some syndicates. This is me right before I go live every time. Just looking in the mirror. But for me, it's more of a mustache check.
Just making sure that the wig line isn't too obvious.
Totally. He's thinking I should buy a space boat. I should buy a spaceship. No, he's realizing that he's about to give like his final performance.
That's what I was gonna say. It's the last time he's gonna wear it. That's the way it feels.
That's the look that he's giving himself. One more time, I have to do this dance, and then he'll be free.
You're right.
And we all know what free means for a guy like him. Yeah, everyone is fighting now. Because when that Gozanti pulls in, when they come to arrest all these guys, like there's no way in hell after what they've been through on Ferrix, they're fighting. They're fighting for every inch of ground. Like they're gonna kill as many stormtroopers as they can. They're committed to the cause now. Who is Saw yelling at? Could that be Cyril Karn with a mask on?
No, it's the kid that we just saw with the other blaster.
Yeah, with the blaster.
Is it the same kid? Oh, you're right. Look at that. You're right. Look at that hair. That's totally
And you're ready to
maybe.
Same kid.
That's totally the same kid. You're totally right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bix. He just got bixed up. Bam.
Like, hit him with like wrench or something.
You can see the blood. You can see the blood coming off. Like
Ooh,
that
on
was,
his head. Ooh.
that was a good hit.
That's
That was a
gonna knock him down
satisfying ass
for
hit.
sure.
This give me a good fight scene. There's like tools all
panel.
over the floor, grabbing stuff, just hitting him with it.
There's a few.
Look at that smug Bantha.
Yeah, he's too smug.
He's perfectly smug. I like how smug he is. It's great.
He's so
There's
fresh.
a future here.
But this
So
is
here, that's got to be the wedding, obviously. Oh yeah, and there she is, right there in it.
and there's Perrin
That's her.
behind her, and there's the daughter.
That's her husband. Yep.
So that must be Tay Colma and the son. But here's the Gorman people standing up for themselves.
For those.
So what Cyril is saying here, I think,
This is where his cubicle is.
he's in his workplace. Yeah, but listen to what he says.
Here.
I didn't go back far enough.
There's a future here. For those who dare.
Ooh.
There's a future here for those who dare.
Like people who are secret agents, like
That doesn't sound imperial to me.
yeah.
That sounds like the words of a rebel. There's a future here for those who dare. What do you, Bendu? What do you think?
We don't even know if that's the end of the sentence. We don't even know if that's the full sentence.
They do that all the time. They like
Nothing to
cut
the
the
plot.
words and like rearrange it for a trailer. Like,
Yeah, we don't even know if that's the real sentence.
so I don't know about Cyril. I think that Cyril might end up being sympathetic to the cause. Because he was never all about the Empire. He was all about justice and life. Those were his things. His whole hang-up was that Cassian murdered these two men.
That's right.
Not that like he's an insurgent, he's a rebel, blah, blah, blah. His whole thing was justice needs to be done for these two security officers who got murdered. And so he just like tunnel visioned on that. But he's going to witness the Gorman massacre. We see in that previous trailer, he is there. He sees it happen. He's incognito and he sees Cassian too. So I think he's going to witness the crazy loss of life that happens on an insane scale because of the Empire. And there's no, he can't see his way clear to that. That doesn't sit right with him because he's all about justice. And the moment he realizes the Empire doesn't actually bring justice, he's going to be gone.
You think we're going to see his mom again?
Yeah, she was in the last trailer. Yeah,
She was?
She's so funny. She's an amazing character. I really hope we get like a couple of good scenes with her. I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of Cyril anymore. Like I feel like he bought into propaganda. He got himself pilled, and now he's like realizing he's in over his head. He's seeing things that are so opposite what he believes in that he's like, you know what? Like I made a mistake. We'll see. We'll see if that happens.
Ooh, Woodsy, you know what, Woodsy, you do make a very good point with that. Could you imagine, like, he's trying to hype up his girl, he's trying to romanticize her, he's telling her, you know what, girl, go above your boss's head. Who gives a fuck? Go above.
A future for those who dare, like for those Imperials who dare to like seek the career glory of like taking this out.
Yeah, dude, like you need to do
For those who dare.
what's best for your career. Yeah, no, I could see him saying that. Absolutely.
Maybe he's trying to sabotage someone else.
Well, who else? Well, think about it. Who else would he
someone
be
to
talking
sabotage
to?
themselves?
Why would a rebel be in this place? He's clearly talking to someone that's also part of the Imperial machine. Could be Dedra. We got troopers running around on Gorman. Luthen giving the ultimate stank eye right there.
Yeah.
Like that is such a like you bitch.
That's such a reaction. That's such a such a reaction. Like, oh my god. What the fuck? What?
I wonder if I'll ever be as salty as this salty old man. Look at that face. It's such a priceless image, actually. Look at that.
All the droids just
all the KXs.
That is interesting. Like,
and that's Cyril in the middle.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Who's in the middle?
Cyril.
Oh,
wearing his
I wonder
civilian.
if they're all being programmed. Yeah, or if they're all just like. I wonder what that is.
Yeah, they're all being delivered. I think like these people look like travelers. Look, the guys on the left, that family have like luggage with them and stuff. So this is like a little shuttle on its way down.
I was gonna say it's like a transport shuttle or something.
And it just so happens that these 6KX units are also on their way down to the surface. That's what I think.
I don't know.
Boom. Brasso shaves the beard off. He shaves the beard off and he's getting serious. Mon Mothma dancing to some Florence at the Machine at her wedding, or at her daughter's wedding. There he is, Qyburn, major party guys.
Look at that hair.
He's such a good character. He's so like insidious and like methodical with his fascism. Like his whole monologue about how like we're like treating symptoms of a disease, like that whole thing was so well written. Oh, do you think this could be Clea crying for Luthen? Could she be crying because Luthen's gone?
Would it be just like one sad tear, or would it be?
Well, it might be one sad tear if it happens in a moment where she doesn't have a chance to still has to be on a mission.
Oh, that's true.
What if she has to kill him?
A bunch of smoke. It's clearly the.
She doesn't have to kill him. I think that she's sad because her whole job was being the curator. Her whole mask was, being in charge of this business and being the assistant.
I don't think she cared about doing that at all. She hated that mask. All she wanted to do was be a rebel.
But she was. But I mean, she's crying because she spent so many of her years in that role doing that thing. And now if she's
that could be
like,
it.
If she's at Luthen's funeral or if she's at Luthen's death, that's what it is.
Wow.
What if she betrays him?
Wow.
Oh.
What if she betrays him? Well, the thing is, like, they did have differences of opinion in season 1. Like, they argued a lot about what to do next.
Awesome.
If she betrays him, she's not going to betray him to the Empire because she is a full believer in the rebels, just like he is. I think if she betrays him, it'll be because she thinks that he cannot lead this anymore, and she'll try to make a move on behalf of the rebels without his authorization, and it's going to be a misstep, and it could cause a problem.
It's going to have a huge cascading effect.
Clea seems very sure of her own abilities, and I think that she has her own ideas about who should be calling the shots, and it's not Luthen, in her opinion. But I could see her having to kill him, or Cassian having to kill him, and that's where Cassian first gets the flavor for that, because then he shoots the informant in the back in Rogue One. It could be because that's how he was trained. That's what he was trained to do. He knows Luthen's about to get captured. He has to kill him so that Luthen can't get tortured and forced to say a bunch of stuff. That's what I'm saying, Palm. I think that tier is for Luthen too. So other than looking like a shot from Predator, this is totally the same planet that we saw the boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
This right here is the wing of the TIE Avenger. If you look on the left side of the screen, the TIE Avenger's been parked right there. We know.
So either that's a walker, or they could be Death Troopers.
Either way, they're getting fired on by Imperials.
Usually, Death Troopers have
those wires.
We've seen with the green.
I think it's a canopy. It's a canopy that they tied over to try and hide the stolen TIE fighter. But he's definitely, they're definitely coming to collect. And there's Cassian being escorted out. See, look, they're totally rebel pathfinders. Look at this. They're totally rebel soldiers for the first time. And he's wearing the black jumpsuit with the red shoulder. He wears that when he steals the TIE. So we know that he crash lands it, and then they get him out under heavy fire, because there he is in that same outfit.
Where he looks
he's clearly inside. Yeah.
But listen to what he says here.
Welcome to the rebellion.
I think he's talking to Cyril.
Great.
To who?
To Cyril. I think he's talking to Cyril, or maybe Dedra. I think someone's going to flip to the rebellion because he's welcoming someone in. Someone's going to finally do the right thing. It's either Cyril or it's Dedra. One of them's going to lose their stomach for this after the Gorman massacre. That's my prediction, but I could definitely be wrong.
To the rebellion.
Let's go. Let's go. And there you have it. Andor season 2. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. We are going to have our hands full. We'll just put it that way when it comes to how much Star Wars is being dropped on a weekly basis starting next month. Reactions will be coming out on the channel as soon as possible. They'll be up pretty much immediately on Patreon, the full-length reactions. The uncuts, they don't have reference footage, but they're pretty immediately available. And then we're working with Nerd Chronic to get the reactions to drop 1, 2, 3, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. each week. So it looks like we are pretty much at the end of this here. I think we only have one other thing to talk about, and that is our Gonk of the Week. Yes, this week we have a lovely little guy come to us from Jim Hernig. Look at this. Look at this interesting character.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
So
adorable.
You don't see these guys very much. This is an EGL 21 power droid.
Oh.
Usually you see the EG or the GNK. This is legit, absolutely. They're seen on screen in the Phantom Menace, and I believe there's one in the original trilogy too. But it's just a variation on the Gonk droid. We see them animated in Bad Batch quite a bit too. But he's very, very cute.
The automatic trash cans where you like put your hand in front and then the little lid opens up.
Totally. I remember those. So his name is BOLT, Bolts. Power droid. He was manufactured on Batu. He's wanted for illegal self-modification with blast shield and reprogramming. Escapee, evading arrest. Return to Mubo in parts or whole. Do not attempt to blast. Okay,
nice.
So he's actually a fugitive Gonk. I like that even better. I like a Gonk with a past. I like a Gonk with a good backstory. I'm going to give this guy 13 out of 10. Unlucky 13, because it feels like this guy's got bad luck. He's wanted in so many systems.
No.
What about you, Hera? How do you rate Bolts over here, our EGL 21?
This is out of 10 gonks?
Out of 10, generally.
Give it a solid 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
No notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No notes. I mean, enough said. Bendu, what about you?
I don't know. I feel like this Gonk, for whatever reason, I feel like he would try to sell me shady shit behind a 7-Eleven. So I feel like I'm just going to give him 11 out of 7 Gonks.
11 out of 7 Gonks.
Does he make the Gonk noise?
I don't think this is a costume. I think it's just a standing model. I don't know if he makes the Gonk noise. I feel like he would say something more colorful than Gonk with his past, with the things he gets up to. Illegal self-modification. This is crazy Gonk.
Oh, that's true. Maybe that's what he modified.
Yeah. Extra thick blaster shields. Yeah, I don't know.
He's up to something. This guy robs banks or something.
Yeah.
But shout out to Jim Hernig. This is an excellent Gonk. Very much appreciate him. And this has been the Gonk of the Week. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the podcast this week. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We recapped our experiences at Emerald City Comic Con. We talked about the Andor trailer and commiserated about reservations for panels a little bit for Star Wars Celebration Japan. Speaking of Star Wars Celebration Japan, make sure you catch the Dork Forces on the HoloNet. Come out for that. And tune in. If you're not coming to Celebration, you should be able to see it streaming as well. There'll be more information about that coming soon. Thank you, Hera, for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Hera's going to be co-hosting the panel with us, by the way, when we go to the HoloNet news stage. So you'll be seeing her lovely face again very soon. But thanks again for watching, everybody. As always, this is the Dork Forces podcast. We will catch you in the next one. And as always, may the Force
be with you.